Hey, this is Jamin Jamie from Jamin Leather. I wanted to give you a brief introduction to some of the leather cleaners, conditioners, and dyes that are available to you that you can probably find at your local grocery store, department store, wherever. You might want to be a little bit more knowledgeable as far as putting the right product on your leather goods when you use it. There are some leather products that are good only for colors, and there's some that are excellent for black. Obviously, you want to treat each thing differently. And well, let me explain some of the different products that we have available that you might want to know more about. Obviously, one thing I'm going to start with here is your leather suede cleaners. This is a suede cleaner. There's a couple of different products out there on the market, a suede cleaner. Just make sure that you understand that suede is almost impossible to clean in many cases. This will only clean off surface dirt, so if you have ink or you have other heavy ground in dirt, it ain't gonna come out. So just so you know, don't waste too much money on suede cleaners because they're not very reliable, but they are something that you can try if the dirt isn't that bad or it's just the surface dirt. You can do that. So let me skip to other product here. Saddle soap works out really good for as a conditioner. It is refers to a saddle soap because most commonly it was used in natural leathers and heavy leathers that we used on saddles. Usually you'll use it as a soap if you add water to it and use it like a soap. It'll lather up quite nicely. Otherwise, you can use it as a conditioner, full strength. This pump spray makes it really nice to get it on the product, rub it in, make sure it's nice and even. On your lighter colors, keep in mind most of your leather conditioners and oils will darken light colors, so you got to be very careful about that. So before you use any of the products that I'm showing you here, you can turn over the jacket on inside liner. There's probably a spot that you can test the product first on. Leather lotion is something that Jamin Leather offers. You can get that here, but it's something that will condition the leather, which will bring the leather back to life. Some old leather jacket that you might have, or vest or whatever, to make it look good. It basically will put some of the oils back into it. But if you talk about oils, technically that's not so much on oils here as much as it is here. You got mink oil products and you have neat's foot oil. Both of them are natural oils that can actually get into the product and seep into the pores to give it some life. If it's a little hard and crusty, they can actually put the oils back into it and bring it back to life and soften up the leather a little bit. Mink oil works out wonderfully. This leather lotion, neat's foot oil, is classic, been around for generations upon generations. Another thing here is the mink oil can come in different products. One is a spray. You can get it in a bottle lotion at your local store. Sometimes in tubs, you'd have to use a soft cloth to wipe it on with. Once again, another version of a spray, and also a liquid. Spray makes it easy to apply, and it also gets in all the cracks. You got to make sure when you apply mink oil, it's thoroughly covered the entire product, so you don't have any blotchy spots, because the spots that you miss might be noticeable. So any of the oils that you use, you want to cover the whole product when you're using it. So that's one thing you should be aware of. Also, dyes are another problem with leather products. Usually you see them for shoe mostly. It doesn't matter if it's a leather jacket or a shoe. It's going to work out the same way. If it's leather, leather is leather. Depending on the finishes that are on it, might depend on how you apply it. Now, some of the stuff you buy at the store, you'll see has leather dye has a sponge at the top of it. I don't recommend applying that directly to your leather jacket or your vest, only because that sponge will bring up too much dye onto the product and will actually start and show the spot where you put it. So what you might want to do is take the sponge and then put it onto a rag, and then blot the rag on something soft so you can apply it more evenly, and then spread it around the area in which you want to repair in case it may be a scuff mark, a couple of scratches. The dye works out well, but not always the best choice, but it is available. I mean, these are professional grade dyes here. There's different things. You got edge coat, a heel and edge coat that usually works on your non-leather products, but just make sure it's for the leather itself. Here's another bottle of dye. It's available in any grocery store, department store, whatever. You'll find it over there. One of the products that we kind of use a lot of here is an antique finish. This is one, it's a popular brand. They do a lot of products in your grocery store, so you may want to check out what they have available. An antique finish, there's a couple of different versions of this item. What this is, and this also leather food is another great product. When you use this product, it will It has dye in it and also waxes in it. So it would not only color the area in which you want to cover, so like say on this jacket here, it's got a lot of bad spots on it. You want to make sure that it not only dyes it, but puts some of the waxes back on to give it some of the luster that it used to have. So you want to make sure that you cover the whole thing. You may not want to do blotches of a jacket that's sometimes this old, but you want to be careful that you cover the whole area so you can get a nice even coat and it almost look just like new if you use products like these. They have waxes in them, so it's a great product. Another thing is in leather dye sometimes comes in spray. If you can find it, it's hard to find, but leather dye can come in a spray. Now, if you wanted to use it, you can actually use dye similar to the waxy product that you can use with a rag. Just so you know, I guess I can show you how to do that. Let me show you how to. Let me take off my sock here. And okay, it was a little dirty. I just had to use it for a little while. But what you can do is you take the dye rag and you spray the dye onto the rag, and then you find something to blot it with. Here. Okay, hold on. Another rag, and you blot it a little bit, and then you can actually rub it on the product, and as you can see, it's already working on the product. But notice I didn't use too much of the dye, and it actually rubs more evenly. If I was to use a spongy product like this, you'd end up having blotchy spots of dark black around the not so dark areas. So if you use a spray, or sometimes even your dye, as long as you blotch it up and blot it out so it's just damp instead of wet, you can actually get an even coat. Sometimes if you use, now that's using a dye in a spray bottle or in a liquid form, or you can use like a product like this, which has got a little waxes in it, get a little bit of that on your, just use it like a shoe polish, and once again, it does virtually the same idea and gets into all the cracks, and because it's got a wax in it, it buffs up nicely, so it'll look almost indistinguishable. This is the end result of what you want. And last thing I want to talk about is a leather protector. This is great for water protection only. This is one of many, many products that are out there. It's not a silicone, but there are silicone products out there. Some people say stay away from silicone. I'm one, if it works, use it. It's been around, silicone's been around a long time, but there are some non-silicone products like this one here. You spray it onto virtually any product, including suedes, and it'll keep your product from getting stains from dirty water falling off the roof or whatever the case may be. So hopefully this will help you make your decisions on keeping your products, keeping your leather goods nice and shiny and good for many years to come. We appreciate you shopping Jamin Leather.